Hello. Whoa. Hello. Hello. Welcome to Speakeasy, Kelly Rogers House Speakeasy, the last Speakeasy of the school year. So, very important. I'm going to lay down some ground rules. I'm your host, Zelda. She, they pronouns. And it's just kind of the basic stuff. Don't be a terrible person. Racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. And if your piece has something sensitive, please give a content warning beforehand. And also, if at any point you just something makes you uncomfortable, you can just walk out, get a snack, or you can just walk out, get a snack whenever you want. Doesn't matter. And yeah, when you get up here, if you could do like a little brief intro, just whatever information you want to give, and then you will be on your way and perform. So without further ado, Puppet Master, are you ready, or do you want some time? You can go? Okay. This is Puppet Master, everybody. She's awesome.
Hey, hey! Hey, hey! I'm a strange new girl in a strange new world, and I feel like I'm living in a strange new world. Hey, hey! Hey, hey! Hey, hey! Hey, hey! I'm a strange new girl in a strange new world, and I feel like I'm going to a strange new world. Hey, hey! Hey, hey! 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Vegans, 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 yay! 2, 4, 6, 8. What do we appreciate? Vegan food, vegan food, vegan food, hey! Keep the power on, 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 keep the power. No night. Heartbeat, we're moving and grooving to the disco beat. We got a hungry thing going down. We're headed for the cool side of town. Feel the thunder, it's just a little beat, tearing us under, but sounding oh so sweet. Peace to all beings and kindness all around. We're headed for the cool side of town. We got an all-night heartbeat. We're moving and grooving to the disco beat. We got a hungry thing going down. We're headed for the cool side of town. We got an all-night heartbeat. We're moving and grooving to the disco beat. We got a hungry thing going down. We're headed for the cool side of town. We're headed for the cool side of town. We're headed for the cool side of town. Thank you. All right, yeah.
Most excellent, Puppet Master. Thank you again for your presence, as always. Next up, we have Eric Tyler with guitar. Do you need help?
Yeah, probably adjusting the vocal.
Okay.
I was trying to mess with it earlier, it just kind of wasn't working perfectly. Just kind of like raised, probably a little bit. All right, so my name's Eric Tyler, and just going to play a song by Bob Dylan. It's called Love Minus Zero. And just, I wanted to mention I played here back in February. Totally forgot to mention that I recorded an EP. It's called, yeah, thank you. It's called Ode to Existentialism. And if you need like the QR code, you can just talk to me later and I'll give that to you. So. My love, she speaks like silence, without ideals of violence. She doesn't have to say she's faithful, yet she's true like ice, like fire. People carry roses, make promises by the hours. My love, she laughs like the flowers. Valentines can't buy her. The dime stores and bus stations, people talk over situations. Read books, repeat quotations, draw conclusions on the wall. The cloak and dagger dangles, madams light the candles, and ceremonies of the horsemen, even the pawn must hold a grudge. The bridge at midnight trembles, the country doctor rambles. Bankers' nieces seek perfection, expecting all the gifts that wise men bring. The wind howls like a hammer, the night blows cold and rainy. My love, she's like some raven at my window with a broken wing. Thank you. Where's that EP available on? So it's on Bandcamp as well as Spotify.
Well, thank you. That was most excellent. Next we have Farah. Is that right? Farah.
All right, hi everyone. So today I'll be reading a poem. I wrote this last night, so it's new. The title is called My Life Story. My life story in 36 words. Jean shorts, navy comforter, a glass of untouched water. That playlist is nothing more than noise. His gold crucifix is wrapped around my finger. Drywall against my head, eyes open. Turquoise, that color has poisoned me. My life story in 24 words, taken from the original 36. Untouched water has poisoned me. That color, that playlist. Drywall is nothing more than a crucifix. My head is wrapped around noise. Eyes. His. My life story in 16 words. Turquoise eyes poisoned me. My drywall, my playlist, nothing is untouched. Me, wrapped around his finger. My life story in 8 words. My poisoned head is open to nothing more. My life story. Nothing is more untouched than his eyes wrapped around me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very wonderful. Next, we have Aaron. Yeah, Aaron.
Hello, my name is Erin. I hope you'll forgive my use of some words, as the third concussion really does it to you. And that just is life. My name is Erin. I write some music. You can find it on my Instagram that has 3 posts, Erin Bass Music. I'm okay. If you're okay, I'm okay. And this is a song I wrote probably about a year ago, maybe a little less than that. Just thinking about all the things we don't know about life and how kind of cool and creepy that is. So this is called Did We Know? When we were young, running under the pines, singing to the clouds and dancing with life. When we were young, grass stains on our shirts, feet bare in the sun, hands deep in the dirt. Oh, did we know what we were after? Eyes filled with wonder, our mouths with laughter. Oh, did we know the seeds we were sowing, ground fresh beneath us, thick air of spring floating? Now that we're grown, driving to work, drinking with friends, and going to church. Now that we're grown, watching the news, folding the clothes, living by the rules. Oh, do we know what we are after? Learning to labor, our thoughts racing faster. Oh, do we know the seeds that we're tending, green shoots stretching taller, some wither relenting. When we grow old, sunrise on the porch, a glint in our eyes, the world starts to distort. When we grow old, time passing slow, will we have earned each ache of our bones? Oh, did we know what we were after, breath after breath, here in and hereafter? Oh, did we know what we would be reaping, gold summer baiting, our last harvest gleaning? Oh, may we know that deep undercurrent that flows from the ages. Oh, may we rest with it.
Damn, that was good. Had me a little misty-eyed. Next up is Serena.
Give me 1 second, I'm trying to find it. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Serena. I am a senior, so I'll be graduating in a few weeks. Poetry. Thank you. My passion to write poetry was re-sparked earlier this year, and it has been a big part of my healing journey, to be able to write and articulate exactly my memories and my feelings. So a little content warning, it may be a little triggering. It does deal with abuse, so heads up there. Okay. This poem is called Because I Love You. Because I love you, I leave welts on your delicate skin and tell you to wear long sleeves to hide them, to save you from the shame and embarrassment. It was your fault. I did it because I love you, because you made me do it. I convince you you must like the pain and like seeing me angry. You like when I hurt you, when I'm my ugliest, because you don't love me. I tell you that I can't keep hurting myself to love you, because loving you hurts, because you are always messing up. But I stick around because I love you. I tell you I love you, but that you're not really worthy of my love or anyone else's. But I stick around because I love you. I bite your lips leaving them blistered and bleeding, disgusted at the words you speak. Because I love you. They'll only get you, and I can't let you say those things. They'll only get you in trouble, lead you astray. And I can't let that happen. I'm responsible for you. You need me. Even though life would be much easier without you. But I stay because I love you. I scoff at your joy and throw away your plates of kindness and strike you till you pee. And throw up breakfast. And scowl at your attempts to crawl, and hate your wins, and devour your innocence, and follow you to the mirror, and cry when you're sad, because I love you. I love you, and this is how you treat me? When all I've ever done was forget your favorite things and force your gaze to the ground, share my heart with you, and cleaned ice cream off your cheeks, and stroked your head before bed, and washed you clean clothes, and protected you from the world, and kept you company, and stuck around, putting you before myself, because I love you.
Damn. Thanks for sharing that. That was very moving. Next we have Clara.
I wrote this earlier in the semester and I'm ready to go back to it and make some revisions. So, home is a place we come back to. My dad's car pulls right up as I walk out from the train. When we get back, the first thing I notice is the smell. Tender sweet, woody, forgotten. My parents' house is books, and more books. Familiar arrangements of unopened titles. I come back and I feel different. From my room, there's an inconstant rush of engines. The whir accompanied by crickets at dark. Quaker worship is sometimes called silent worship. A room crowded with come-as-you-are bodies, all seated in silence. But in that silence is a spiritual meditation, wordless, collective, warm. Sometimes someone is moved to stand, and each mind is turned to an ordinary person's gospel. Then we return to a scatter of breaths. The space never really was silent. My first dorm felt jarring, just an excess of space, intermittently shot through with a freezer burr. The freezer drone is absent now. Cooking and cleaning my kitchen makes me feel like an adult. I fill up the space, and I come back to a place of my own tender, sweet words. Thanks.
Wonderful. That was the last person that signed up. But that does not mean we have to end. If anybody feels so compelled, you want to go ahead?
Hello. Sorry. 1 second. All right. Can you guys hear me? My name is Tejasvi. I'm a senior as well, so I'm ready to graduate. Okay. So it's a short poem, and it's called "If I Could Take One Pill." Okay, goes. If I could take one pill, what would it be? Maybe one that would give me more energy and time. Lately, I've had no peace of mind because I can't finish anything that I begin to write. But then also, I don't want to play or mess with the temporal mechanics of life. So maybe not. Maybe a pill that could kill my greed. Lately, I'm not satisfied with just adding cheese. The pill would restrict me to only the stuff that I really, really need. But then also, I don't want to limit how big I dream. So maybe not. Maybe a pill that could let me truly understand people. Lately, I've been curious, why do they think like the way they do? Like, what's the reason? I remember for a while, everyone around me just looked so fearsome. But then also, I can't carry that much weight. For that, I'm too feeble. So maybe not. To be honest, if I could take one pill, it seems like I would take 5. But the problem with pills is that pills beget more pills. So maybe not. Thank you.
Thank you for that. That was a wonderful poem. Anybody else? Yes, Puppet Master, of course.
Okay. This song, let me see if I can pull it up there. This is a song that was, I took it from an old Dr. Pepper commercial, wherever it is. It's called, and we wrote the words, so we called it I'm a Vegan. Rocky here is going to sing it for you. Yeah. This is for a Vegan Earth Day. I eat vegan food, don't you see? An original taste is what we need. That original taste we all know is making vegans everywhere we go. I'm a vegan, he's a vegan, she's a vegan, you're a vegan, wouldn't you like to be a vegan too? I eat vegan food and I'm proud. I'm proud of a part of an original crowd. And if you look around these days, there seems to be a vegan meal craze. I'm a vegan, he's a vegan, she's a vegan, you're a vegan, wouldn't you like to be a vegan too? I'm a vegan, he's a vegan, she's a vegan. If you eat vegan food, you're a vegan too. Ye a vegan, please be a vegan. Be a vegan, please be a vegan. Be a vegan, please be a vegan. Be a vegan, please be a vegan. Thank you. All right. Thank
you. Sorry, it's Jack. Hey, Jack. Yeah, go on up there, poet. Speak some bars.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jack. I'm a junior, feeling weird at the end of the year. As you drive away, I watch the afternoon leave the house. Something claws through my chest, snags my shadow and drags, slow at first, but sunset always was too heavy to carry alone. I can't help but let it take a little of my outline, a little of yours, scratched out on the sidewalk in absent chalk. That's what a real ghost is, the place a body should be. It hurts because it happens all right in front of you, clear enough to keep on hoping, yet somehow right there already written. wicker womb and wire bending wicked under weight of one more day, a memory misshapen under all that waiting, when all I want to say is, I'll see you soon.
Yeah, all right, those bars. Anybody else? Yes, of course.
Sup, my name's Catherine. You can find me at Catherine Argo on various platforms. This is about my mother and I, which is always a juicy kind of tale. The house I grew up in had 2 bathrooms. They were lined up back to back with a frosted glass window between them. I never really understood why this was, because you couldn't see through the glass, but you couldn't not see it through it either. The back bathroom, as we called it, was small. It had a single sink, toilet, and walk-in shower with about 3 feet by 2 feet floor space. At best, one person could fit in it at once. In a pinch, I could get my mom to fix my eyebrows or my hair in it before school. It was connected to the master bathroom. It was where my parents would hide Santa's wrapping paper and where my dad would get ready for work every morning once my mom left. There was an actual window that opened to our backyard, and when I wanted to eavesdrop on conversations that were happening on our deck, I would hide below the sill and I would listen. On one particular summer day, I used the back bathroom as a hiding space. I wore a navy blue dress with a half-zip front. The zipper pull was an enamel red star that flopped around as I moved. I'd use it like a worry stone, moving my fingers over the smooth surface to comfort myself. I tried to keep my thumb in the center. If I touched the metal, I'd reset the ritual by rubbing the center of the star in a small circle until the feeling of the edges disappeared from my fingertips. I chose the back bathroom because it was like a remote outpost from my bedroom and the family living spaces, the far fringes of our home. Our hallway was thin and long, and I sprinted it down like I was running for my life. When I got to the bathroom, I pushed my entire weight against the door like I was a linebacker guarding a quarterback. The lock never worked, and there was no exception on this day. My effort was ultimately unsuccessful. I like to think that I put up a fight, noble and brave. But in truth, my mother was a professional child wrangler, an elementary school teacher, and I was scrawny and wimpy and a child. I lost the battle, and I screamed in my defeat as I was dragged to the family minivan. It was a white Chrysler with a red cloth interior. It wasn't a junker, but it showed its age. It was in vogue at one point, but I was embarrassed when the neighborhood families got newer models of minivans and SUVs, the ones that were more sleek and less boxy. Now it's camp. It was of its time. Our drive was a short one, probably 10 minutes at most. It was mostly residential zoning that we passed, but there was a Food Lion and a car wash. We passed Route 956, which was a road into West Virginia, if you don't know, where my grandparents lived. I don't remember conversation happening as we drove, but it's likely that I either fussed the entire time while my mother maintained a steel focus on the road, or we both sat silent, daring the other to speak. You see, we both know how to hold in our tempers until we're given the slightest opportunity to unload our feelings. You see, our church was like any other in a small town. There was an upper parking lot and a lower parking lot. During major holidays like Palm Sunday, we would have half of Sunday school class before parading through the parked cars with our palm fronds folded into crosses. Our nave had pastel-colored tiles that were dotted with black streaks at a diagonal. The pattern of these tiles was interrupted by rows of creaking wooden pews and kneelers. The pews were slippery and at an angle. They served as a miniature slide in the height of church boredom. That is, before we were caught and made to feel very guilty for not doing anything but atoning for our very real and very bad Catholic sins. The kneelers had red pleather cushions with rubber feet to soften the noise of folding them down for prayer. When I was little, I'd hunker down on one and evaluate the shoes of church women walking back from communion. Shiny red and black heels were good. Orthopedic shoes were not. I'd stare at the lights above when we were supposed to bow our heads. There were pendants wrapped in metal concentric circles to diffuse the light. They hypnotized me as I listened to the drone of the congregation, murmuring in unison, "Blessed be in Jesus' name. Amen." I don't remember if we had usual seats like some church people. We went regularly enough, but I don't think we stalked our territory like pioneers in the mythical American West. On this particular summer day, my mom and I sat stage right, midway between the altar and the confessional. Adjacent to the confessional was a weird, soundproof room where mothers with crying children could sit behind thick glass and not miss a beat of mass. I'd say caretakers, but I never remember seeing men in the space. It's also worth noting for my own ego that I was a perfect infant. I was the Korean girl baby Jesus in the Christmas play. I don't think I ever needed to enter the soundproof box. At one point, the priest announced something and my mom stood up, pulling me with her. I don't remember if I scowled. I probably did. I was kind of a brat. I didn't care for church, and in that moment, I did not care for my mother. Later, I might feel like a spectacle, the object of the sentence rather than the verb. The gaze was upon us. We weren't the ones doing the looking. My mom was composed, or at least she looked the part, to the family staring at her. She was and is a master of social camouflage. She always knew how to dress and to act appropriately for any event. Her experiences as a West Virginia hillbilly, yes, me, prodigy of a hillbilly, whom Washingtonian helped her find this, I think. She was being recognized because the health crisis in my family was over, finally, after 3 years. To use a biblical term, it was a miracle, no doubt aided by the fact that the physician assigned to the case was a specialist, the lead doctor of a scientific trial in which our family was involved. Good luck, yes, indeed. When it was over, we sat down. I continued to pout, fidgety, as we waited to leave. But at last, the service was done. It was only years later that I realized she wanted me with her not because I hated church and needed to learn a lesson. No, that was never her parenting style. It was not for the optics of, quote, the stable family, unquote, either, or at least not entirely. She didn't want to be alone or to be gawked at. She didn't want to be the humiliated, honored matriarch without a family. Granted, I was not the one who was healed, but we were stand-ins for the congregation to marvel at. I don't regret being taken to church with her now. It's comical, almost, how impassioned we felt, at once furious and silent in our anger. That day, and others like it, were complex. And although it made me feel like we were adversaries existing only to make the other mad, it was a shared and important moment for me. I learned that you can be lonely without being alone.
Thank you. That was amazing. You have one of the best reading voices that has come through the Writers' House. I think we have time for maybe one or two more. If anybody, you want to go? Yeah.
Okay, hey everyone, I'm Rajneesh. So I wrote this poem around 2.5 years ago. That was still COVID, so maybe some quarantine blues. It gets a little graphic in the end, so hope you guys don't mind. Okay, when I was 8 years old. When I was 8 years old, I thought to myself, my body given to me is mine and so is my soul, or whatever I feel in me which makes me alive, which makes me my own self, different from all others around me, different from my mom cooking the food, different from my cousin writing notes in a book, different from the man carrying the timber to the wood store. But we all share the same universe, and yet somehow we feel different. And I thought to myself in a dreaming voice, what if I were to be someone else? What if I were to be you? Can I play the guitar as you do and hold the notes together? But not their body, not their emotion, but what they feel, the things they experience, and the thoughts they incorporate. When I was 12 years old, I asked myself, if I could only think about my own self, am I selfish? Because the treacherous someone else beholds are not gonna land on my shirt, so what am I to others? What am I to the girl asking me my name? What am I to my parents who birthed me? And I to them. That's a weird one, right? What am I to the teacher who's teaching me dividers and multiplication while I'm just wondering about all these thoughts? What am I to myself as I can be anything and can be anyone? With my thoughts changing every moment and my mind acting upon my emotions every second, with my brain grasping the every fading memory collecting in a bowl of soup mixed up with the layers of flavor as I take a spoonful of it and hold the taste on my tongue, yet creating a delicious delusion of the feelings of the past, undermined by the present and the spoonful of those memories. When I was 16, I thought to myself, if no one else can be as I, and then maybe, just maybe, I have a paramount in this doing. But as my thoughts shower away with the flowing information from others, shampooed by their opinions in my head, carrying their scent in me, reflecting over my presence, how are I to be myself with others surrounding me? To simulate the function of my being in the world made for me, where others were residing. I thought that my existence was bestowed upon earth to liberate the living from their own ruin, and my acting was the route to the salvation of the humankind. Now that I'm 20 years old, I am asking myself, but as I do, a little voice inside me fades into a vortex. While I can feel its echo, but I can't hear it anymore. Leaving me in a hollow space with air gushing in my gut, creating a surreal aura. The surreal aura I felt when I was dancing, and I could no longer feel the room around me, slipping into the senses, into grains, forming a dark layer between me and others, and the surreal aura I felt when I looked in the night sky and thought about my friend. The surreal aura I felt when I dreamt about my death, and how little did it affect those surrounding me, and the blood gushed from my mouth over the sand inside the perfect black and white grainy frame of Noir. Now I'm 20 years old. Thank you.
All right. We have one more. Get on up there.
Hello. Oh, hello. I'm Savannah. I'm back there running sound, but I've been trying to work up the courage to read at a speakeasy for a little bit. So I'll be reading a poem that I wrote a couple of years ago, but I recently revised. Like Serena, I've tried to revamp my passion for poetry. So this is It's Not Me, It's You. Ooh, intro music. Thank you. This is It's Not Me, It's You. Your presence was a bouquet of flowers that gave me the greatest comfort. They were beautiful. They smelled incredible. They were breathtaking. Then we took that bouquet of flowers and we burned it to absolute ash. I never knew that a spark could catch so fast, from a flicker to a flame, when it hurts to hear your name, and we are never the same from what became of us. And what became of us was nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing from a sideways glance or a touch of hands, but just by chance, or locking eyes, looking askance, was a coincidence or a suggestive glance, and I'll never know. I never got the chance to truly tell you everything. Emotions raw and open, sharing laughter, stories spoken, treading lightly, prodding and poking, cryptic actions that left us hoping that our hearts could connect and not be broken and cast aside this time. I thought it was right this time. Finally, foolishly, I felt okay and assumed you felt the same. Now I know such assumptions were insane. When I was dreaming of a future and singing your name, you were behind my back playing the same game with another person who was your darling dame that you could save. I felt the heartbreak and shame and was crippled by the blinding pain of being betrayed once again. With tears in my eyes and my stomach churning, the heat in my heart had turned to burning, and I finally understand the pain of learning my lesson the hard way. Now I know it's not, and it never was, about me. I think I misunderstood the word unconditionally when you pushed me aside and I became plan B. When want turned into dependency, I realized that this was never meant to be and that we are better off apart. Finally. Your presence was a bouquet of flowers, but now I see the thorns that hurt. That gave me the greatest comfort and cut my hands. They were beautiful and burned my eyes. They smelled incredible and choked my lungs. They were breathtaking, and I sure as hell couldn't breathe. I am now a shadow that's too obscured to see, no longer the protagonist of my own story. You manipulated me. You manipulated who I was supposed to be, and now I realize with crushing clarity this train wreck's true causality. I finally see it's not me, it's you.
Okay, poet. Okay. All right, so that was our last speaker, and now we have snacks back there if you guys want snacks. But that is all. Thank you for coming. You are dismissed.